Are you a single woman who's been living her very best life? Girl, me too. Get in here. Welcome to Empowered by Her Picket Fence. I'm Stephanie, and I'm not a celebrity or a social media influencer. I'm a single woman, a single mother, and a women's empowerment blogger. And it's time for us to come to the mic and let people know what's really good with single women. And you know this show is always going to keep it short and cute. So go grab that latte because we're about to get into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back and thank you for joining me. Follow this show if you haven't already, and definitely stick around for Girl, It's Time to Leave at the end of the show. This week, this is a good one for single women, no matter what your age is, or you don't even have to be single. Just get in here on this because this is about developing the habits of a high value woman because we are worthy. High value women walk different. They talk different because they place value on themselves without somebody else doing it for them. And they know they are good enough, so it impacts every relationship that they have. They know that they are enough, so boundaries are in place. So we're going to talk about that today. What are the habits of a high value woman? Number one, a high value woman knows who she is. Many of us, myself included, grew up hanging out with a gaggle or a group of girls, and we would move as a collective, right? If one person was wearing Bonnie Bell lip gloss, we were all wearing it. We had our girl group. You get older, the dynamics change based on the setting. Maybe it's the cheerleading team, or maybe it's your sorority in college, or maybe it's just the girls that you hung out with in college. But the problem with moving as a collective is that when you move and grow as a collective, it can be hard to uncover your true voice. You become a unit, and a lot of time is spent fitting in. So as an adult, some of us have to actually do the work of figuring out exactly who we are as women. And I'm here to say it's never too late. I went into my 20s still figuring myself out, not necessarily having the strongest sense of self, but although it didn't come easy for me, it was so worth it to arrive at a place of self-love and acceptance. And when you figure out who you are, you really start to understand your value and what you uniquely bring to this world. And when you are able to do that, ladies, you finally become enough. You start realizing that you don't have to conform to someone else's ideal. You begin to move through life with more confidence and find your true value. So a high value woman knows who she is and knows what she will and will not accept on her unique walk in this world. In that same vein, number two, a high value woman actively practices self-love. When you realize you're worthy, you treat yourself with kindness, don't you? That inner critic that was telling you that you're not enough, that's been buzzing around in your head for years, you dismiss her because she doesn't matter. What you think about yourself matters. A high value woman also knows that self-love is an action verb, and she starts to do things that will enrich her own life and bring her happiness. These activities become intentional. Her time spent with others becomes intentional. And a high value woman will pursue passions that she never even imagined were possible before because she's practicing self-love. A high value woman stands in the sun and allows herself to grow. She's clear on her value system and the importance of honoring what's important to her. And a high value woman, and this is where boundaries come in, ladies. A high value woman doesn't let anybody enter her world and eclipse the principles that she believes in. She also won't let anyone shrink her down or put her in a box. This is something that I struggle with because in my early 30s, I was not married, and people would try to shrink me down and make me feel like my life wasn't as important because I hadn't met the benchmarks that society had set for women. But I refused to be disqualified. I refuse, and I encourage you to refuse to be disqualified by somebody else's benchmarks. They don't matter. A high value woman also is going to draw boundaries. She's going to be clear on what she will and won't tolerate in behavior that she is uncomfortable with. And she knows the danger of redrawing her lines. Now, I do want to add a little disclaimer here. That usually comes with maturity. I certainly didn't have my boundaries intact completely at 20. I grew into figuring out what was important to me and what boundaries I needed to put in place for myself, for me to feel comfortable in relationships, or whether it be family or personal relationships. But that comes with time. That is a goal for everyone, every young woman that's on the self-love journey. Get clear on what you will and won't tolerate, and know that there is danger in redrawing your lines. because as you redraw lines to accommodate other people and let them continually cross your boundaries, it takes away or chips away at you little by little. So there's a danger in redrawing your boundaries. Okay. The third thing is that a high value woman is going to keep her goals front and center. She never loses sight of where she wants to go in life, and she'll keep trying to get there. No matter what's going on, she keeps focusing on her destination. And this is important, ladies. As an individual, we have the right to take our own path in life, a life that is meaningful to us, regardless of what everyone else is doing. Even if everybody's getting married, even if everybody's having kids, even if everybody's buying homes, whatever it is, you have the right to create a life that's meaningful to you, whatever that is. And a high value woman believes in herself, and that alone adds fuel to her fire. A high value woman is also going to understand that there will be setbacks along her journey, but she'll be clear on one thing, that it's okay to fail and that getting back up is the most important thing. Bet on yourself, ladies. Have the guts to embrace the grind and weather the storms. It's tough. It definitely is. I'm still learning how to get back up after a tough time, but I know that eventually the storms pass and things will get better. You can only lose when you stop trying. A high value woman will not be stopped. One of the fourth habits of a high value woman is that she chooses her universe. A high value woman doesn't allow gaslighters to run her world. She's front and center of her own life and surrounds herself with a team of people that she values. These are people that love and support her, and she is always clear that they have the best intentions for her. See, positive and healthy relationships are easy. You just get along. It just works. When you constantly have to worry about whether this person has the best intentions for you, they're not part of your team. A high value woman will actively remove toxic people and situations from her life. She knows that life is too short to allow toxicity to dominate her airwaves, and she exits stage left. Some of this comes with maturity too. And as we get older, we become more adept at weeding out the bad ones, male or female. What is the reset? How do you reset as a woman to make sure that you're honoring yourself? The reset doesn't happen overnight. My journey as a self-evolved woman has been a long one, but I work every day toward becoming a more enlightened version of myself, and I've committed to it. And that's really what we have to do as women. We have to work on and commit to our evolution as women and getting to a positive place where we are fully stepping into our worth. We are valuing our unique walk, and we are loving ourselves unconditionally. Remember who you are and that you've been valuable since day one, and never let anyone or any situation diminish you. We all have things that have happened in our lives that we're not particularly proud of maybe, but they don't define you. They don't. You can decide today to live your life differently and take a different walk and grow as an individual. If you are already on your self-love journey, that's fantastic. Keep moving and go with what feels right for you. And if you haven't started yet, that's okay too. Start today. Stand in your power today as a unique individual. So here are 3 action steps for your journey. Number 1, start loving yourself, flaws and all. You are an original, so silence your inner critic and believe in yourself. Number 2, create healthy boundaries that will allow you to start healing your past traumas while honoring your future. You can't heal from a toxic relationship with a relative if you're always around them. So create boundaries for yourself. Number 3, stop interacting with toxic people. They're not adding any positive value to your life. There's no room for negativity. Life's too short. And on that note, it's time for girl, it's time to leave. Girl, it's time to leave when your man doesn't even like you. Sounds hard to believe, right? You're in a relationship with this person that they may not like you. You can tell when someone likes you and when someone doesn't. You could be in a relationship with someone that loves you but doesn't like you. They don't want to be around you. Every time you speak, there's a frown on their face. They don't try to help you when you need it. They're not supportive. They're just critical and dismissive. In the life of a high value woman, there's no time for that. So if your man doesn't like you, well then girl, it's time to leave. All right, guys, meet me right back here next week. And don't forget to hit that follow button and leave a review. And tell all your friends, because the single girls just got the mic.